You're watching Drakewing Gaming. Enjoy the video. Hello everyone, Nary here from Drakewing Gaming. Some of you know me on Twitter, The Gaming Dragon, and today I'm coming at you another Let's Play episode of Changeling Tale, Marion's Path. So, the last place we left off, we had just helped Marion at the market, helped her home, got to know her a little bit better, and apparently we're about to meet Grace now, but we're going to try and skip through Grace because she had her time to shine in the last series, so we're going to try and get more of Marion. But anyway, guys, sit back and enjoy. Let me entertain you for the next 20 minutes, and let's jump right into it. Alright, love that one. Love that it starts with a horse and just making noise. I don't know what you call that. Snorting? Horse snorting? Horse snorting? Okay. Alright, alarm chain, you're up, and let's go. This will be my 4th video today. Wow. Okay. Hazel snorts defiantly as I fasten the cavesson. I make sure that her what do you pronounce it? Circingle? Her circingle is not too tight. Take hold of the line and begin trying to lead her clockwise in a circle. I would have more luck leading a field boulder by the reins. Come on, Hazel, none of that. You've done this before. Let's go. Shaking the cavesson line is no use, nor is tugging. Pretty please. She neighs stubbornly. I sigh, wishing now I had a second trainer like we did in cavalry school. It's up to me to do the job of both. I hold the line with one hand while flipping Grandad's old sombrero with the other. I immediately regret it. The chamber has the effect of animating the horse a little too well. Oh, there she goes. Hazel lunges forward, pulling free of my light grip on the reins. She's hopped over the stone wall and is bolting toward the lock before I can blink. Cursing, I give chase. So funny. Oh god, there she is. Thankfully, Hazel doesn't run too far. She slows to a halt on a bluff overlooking the loch, where she stoops to graze on a patch of bluebells. Num num num, delicious. Yep. There she goes. I make my way across the field to retrieve my mare, tiptoeing up to her, but she bucks and darts off again. Into the hands of a young blonde girl, who effortlessly calms the horse in no time flat. Is this yours? Oh, that music always gives me chills. The girl comes closer, smirking and leading Hazel through the pasture. She looks familiar. Grace? Yes, Malcolm? That's me. My sisters mentioned you were back. It's nice to see you again. It's certainly been a long time. It has. Truth be told, I have very little memory of the youngest McLeod sister. Even when our families got together, she tended to be scarce. I struggle for more words. Ah, you look so much older. As do you. And this is? Hazel. The one and thankfully only. I'm amazed you're able to calm her. She's not usually very tolerant of strangers. It looks like she's not very tolerant of her owner, either. You have to keep a closer hold on her. Seems as though she'd rather be running loose than being led by the reins. Yes, well, she's not exactly enjoying her relaxing farm life. Grace's expression changes, and I sense she has some sympathy for my horse's plight. Perhaps she'd rather be wild and free. That's what I'm guessing. Yeah. She's feisty. I like it. Yeah, feisty like you wouldn't believe. I suppose I should get her back to the farm. If she'll follow you, I'm not quite sure she's interested in where you're leading her. Sometimes we don't have a choice about where we go or who we go with, do we? I reach for the reins, and Grace passes them to me after a moment's hesitation. I suppose. Goodbye, Malcolm. She turns without another word and begins walking toward the water. I wonder at a girl who can both seem so sullen yet confident. What a strange girl. You don't know the half of it. Be seeing you, Grace. Thanks for all your help. Tugging Hazel back towards the stable, I think back on what I've heard about the youngest sister, wondering if she isn't just terribly lonely and bored on the farm all day. Best not to overthink it, though. Much is left to be done today, and my mind can't bear any additional burdens. Yeah, my guess is that Jesse and Grace are both going to run off and leave Marion by herself. That's where Malcolm comes in. He's going to take care of Marion. Sexually. No, stop it! Bad thoughts. Oh, God. He's going to show her the real cowgirl. Stop it! No! I need to knock this off. Let's go ahead and save it. Ghost from the past. Okay. Back at the homestead, my first order of business is to put poor Hazel in a paddock with plenty of space. She seems to tolerate the accommodations well enough, but I keep a weather eye on her at all times, just in case. The much-needed patches to the stable roof keep me busy as the days rolls on. It's one less thing for Hazel to hold against me, at least. Ooh, beautiful. The sun is already setting when grandmother calls me back in for supper. I kick myself for losing track of time. A day has passed. I've not eaten, and my hands are sore and calloused from all the hard work. I wash up, change my clothes, and sit down to enjoy a hearty meal with Agnes, but apparently even a good scrub can't hide my fatigue.
Dear, you look exhausted. Did the day's labours not agree with you?
You don't know the half of it. We commiserate about the stubbornness of beasts and talk long into the evening. Oh, it seems like such a fun evening. Eventually we both find ourselves yawning and rest beckons us. It looks as though the bed is calling you, Gran.
Aye, I'll retire now. Let you to your evening routine.
I wink and tilt my head towards the bottle of scotch by the sink. You know you're welcome to partake in the ritual.
Maybe a wee dram.
I grab the bottle and glasses, and we sip together in silence until Gran denies a refill.
I've had my fill. Any more tipsy, and I myself will need to be poured into bed.
My muscles argue a little as I lift myself out of the chair, and protest harder still as Gran gives me a tight embrace. Sleep well, Gran. I'll see you when the rooster crows.
Good night, Malcolm. May the fairies only slip you peaceful dreams.
I chuckle, reminded of my childhood fairy tales as Agnes retires to her room. I'm busying myself with the dishes when I hear a light knock on the door. Who in the world would be calling at this hour? Ooh.
Malcolm, is that you?
A tall woman stands before me in the cool evening air. She's most definitely the flaxen-haired woman I had noticed at the market today, and my former schoolteacher. Her face is somber and frozen with worry, but she cracks a faint smile at my appearance. Miss Alana, how are you? If you pick none of the girls, I wonder who you can go with. I reach out to give her a gentle embrace, though the measure is hardly reciprocated as she nearly pulls away.
You remember me?
Oddly enough, she does not look like she's aged at all since I first saw her in the classroom so long ago. Of course I do. It's nice to see you.
You as well. The whole village is thankful to have you back, myself included.
You must come in to warm up. It's mighty late to be strolling out this way. She shakes her head and pulls the lapels of her long green gown tightly around her neck. Her piercing eyes stare boldly, almost invasively into me.
No, I shan't be staying long, Malcolm. I came especially to see you.
She hesitates, and her gold hair shines in the moonlight, bringing out the blonde highlights.
You know everyone is relieved that you're home, safe and sound.
Thank you. It continues to be pleasant to hear. It's good to be home.
Yes, everyone is pleased, including the McLeod girls. You've spoken with them.
I take a pause at the sudden specificity. Damn it! I take pause at the sudden specificity. Her brow furrows, and she rubs her arms for warmth. We've crossed paths since I've returned. Yes, there are neighbors after all. Are you sure you don't want to come inside? Concern is written all over her. I'd appreciate the warmth more than she would, it seems. I want to ask if she's all right, but instincts guides me otherwise.
No, thank you.
Yes?
You need to know.
I need to know what?
It's best if you stay away from them.
Her words take me completely by surprise, and it takes me a moment to find my bearings. Why on earth would you say that? Is something wrong? She begins speaking very fast and very concisely, as if rehearsed.
Please don't ask me. It's a private matter, one I ought not to even speak about. Just know that I'm looking out for everyone's best interests.
I'm at a loss for words. This is the side of Miss Alana I'd hoped to never see again. As a teacher, she was at once kind, gentle, and stern. Learning came easily through her methods of education. She was joyous and heartfelt in the classroom, but always knew when to raise her voice and chastise her boisterous, youthful behavior. But occasionally, for no reason, she would become very serious, very superstitious over the smallest of things. Even as a child, I viewed it as strange behavior. And outside of school, well, it was as if she was an entirely different person, a mournful and isolated woman when she was seen at all. It made life uncomfortable for a child who otherwise adored his normally cheerful teacher. What had she become now? Press for more information. Can you share with me why? Are they in danger? What has you so worried?
It's not something I can speak aloud. Not now. Please trust me. Respect my wishes and those of the girls.
I'm overwhelmed with confusion. Is their wish to not see me?
Not exactly. They just are not prepared to ask you to stay away. Malcolm, listen to me, please. Look in my eyes.
Her eyes are dark with desperation and sadness, even while reflecting the moon's glow. A darkness sweeps over the sky, black as the Earl of Hell's waistcoat. The bright moon is clouded over.
It is because I care for you, and them, that I've come here tonight. They may seem like harmless girls, but outward appearances can be deceiving. Family secrets run deep. Don't get too close to them, Malcolm. No, you've been asked in earnest. Please stay away from the McLeods.
I've never seen such intensity from Miss Alana. Whatever her reason, she's clearly distressed, so I decide to appease her. Don't worry, I'll respect their space. Thank you for coming by, but now I should really be getting back to...
Oh, you've given me so much relief, Malcolm.
She moves closer as if to embrace again. I warily step back, and in doing so, I realize I may have offended her.
Now I must be on my way.
I'm sorry, please take care, Miss Alana. Hope to catch up with you soon, perhaps in brighter circumstances. I point to the shaded moon. She nods, and is on cue. The clouds part. Interesting.
Of course. Please give my best to your grandmother.
She steps away from the door and demurely waves goodbye.
Good night, Malcolm.
I watch her as she walks away. Her silhouette shrinks, and I can't help but wonder what has her so distraught. Eventually, she veers off the path and deeper into the hill crossing, disappearing among the jagged boulders. I shiver and tell myself it was because of the draft. Inside, I warm myself with one more drink from the now near-empty bottle of scotch. I don't realize how tense I am until I reach for the glass. The first sip eases the tension, but on my nerves. Agnes ducks out of her room. I believe she can read my concern as I pour myself yet another drink.
Is all well? Was someone at the door, dear?
I lift my glass and polish off the whiskey, resolving to put the strange encounter behind me. It was nothing grand. Under my breath I add, just a ghost from the past. I wonder what Alana is. Is she a queen? Is she a queen fae or something else? I know there are other characters in this, and I want to meet them. Where's the constable lady? The cat constable lady that I saw in some of the previews. I'm so curious. The smell of fresh baked pastry drifts out of the main room. I come in to find Gran stirring a pot at the stove.
Good morning. How did you sleep?
Rebirth, huh? I think I know what this chapter is. I feel like I've hardly slept at all. Well enough, I guess. Something smells good. She points to a basket of muffins on the table. The steam wafts around them as they cool.
I baked some fresh treats from the McLeod girls, since they've helped make your reception home a warm one. Won't you be a dear and take these over to them?
My uncomfortable conversation with Alana is still fresh, although I don't want to worry my grandmother. Still. Gran, have you heard anything, odd about the MacLeod girls?
Odd? What do you mean?
The girls, has anything ever seemed off?
Why would you ask that? I've known them to be nothing but good.
Gran hesitates.
But...
sorry about that. Malcolm needs to wet his whistle. But...
Malcolm, I've lived a long, full life. This town has a past. Secrets that aren't meant to be uncovered. Not everything is as it seems.
I'm stupefied. Now Gran is giving me riddles too. It almost sounds like the opening to one of the fairy tales she would read to me as a wee lad. What? What does that mean?
God willing, you'll never have to find out. Quickly now, while the muffins are still warm. Breakfast should be ready soon as you return.
Before I know it, I find myself shoot out the door, alone with a basket of muffins and a baker's dozen of questions in my head. What are Gran and Alana talking about? In all my years, I've never noticed anything unusual in this sleepy hamlet, apart from Alana herself. Maybe Agnes is getting superstitious too in her old age. Should I let her superstition stand in the way of being a good neighbor? I gotta be a good neighbor anyway, so apparently. I shelve my concerns and tell myself that I can press for some answers on my return. Yep. Alright, it's time to, become the new me. I make it to the McLeod's house in no time. Marion is standing at the door, almost as if she was waiting for me. She waves me over. God, oh my god, I would love to live in a place like this. That, of course, it has really good internet connection. because I want to bring you guys more videos from my beautiful home.
Good morning, Malcolm. Oh, I'm so glad you decided to visit.
The morning rays highlight her cheerful features. Her smile is genuine, but something about it seems unusual, different. Her expression falls as she seems to sense my unease.
Goodness, you look like you've seen a ghost. Would you like to come inside? There's tea on the stove.
Morning, Marion. No, I can't stay. I just came to drop off these muffins. Compliments of my gran. Is everything all right?
I'd ask the same of you. You look unwell.
Marion takes me by the hand, all concerned. An easy feeling grows, forming a knot in my stomach.
Come inside. We'll get you some tea. No buts.
She leads me into the house. It looks much the same as I remember it from when I was a kid. The woven rug, made by their mother, collects dust underneath the table, and the family portrait hanging over the mantel brings back bittersweet memories of their stern father, Owen. That's good art. It'd be a cozy space except for the unnaturally harsh chill. Is it usually this cold in here?
Don't worry, we'll get you warmed up soon. Girls, we have a visitor.
I hear Jessie call out from another room.
Marion, who is it?
She comes into the kitchen with Grace beside her. Jessie is still in her flapper dress, which seems odd for the morning. Perhaps she just got home from a long evening out.
Oh, Malcolm, how are you?
All three girls are hovering around me. My knees have become weak and I feel helpless, like a specimen on display.
You look awful. Are you all right? Grace, be nice. Won't you get the fire going?
Yes. Won't you get the fire going? Grace complies and Marion takes my hand again, leading me to a chair by the fireplace. I take a seat, but instead of feeling the warm fire's warmth, I become cold all over and start to shiver. I'm sorry. I don't know what's come over me.
Hush, you poor thing. Let's get you warm.
Marion strokes my hand, which now aches and burns. From the heat? I can't tell. The three sisters have gathered around me in a range of concern to pity playing across their faces.
Crivens, Malcolm, are you contagious? Maybe you shouldn't have come here. As if you could stay away from a house full of sultry young women. Speak for yourself.
I'm struck by how unusual the sisters are acting. Had I walked in at the wrong time?
Girls, a blanket, please. Some tea for Malcolm.
The fire feels warm and itchy against my palms, and I realize that it's not the flame near my hands, but slight involuntary movements of my fingers. I rub my hands together as they twitch. Marion stares at me with concern, her brow furrowed, lips frowning.
We're glad you've come home safely, Malcolm, but a lot has changed since you left. Looks like you've changed too.
What does she mean by that? Am I understanding her words correctly? I try to respond, but my thoughts go cloudy. Uh-oh, SpaghettiOs. The room spins. I reach out for Marion, but my fingers close tightly together. What on earth? I can't fathom what is happening to me. I fear the worst. My mind flashes back to the crippling nerve agents of the war. My knuckles and veins sting as if swarmed by hornets. My hands! I can't move them!
Oh, come now. You're going to be fine, Malcolm.
Jessie's tone is stern. She's come back with a glass of something that is definitely not tea.
Here, something special I liberated from the pub. It'll help you through it.
She holds it to my mouth and I drink. The bitter liquid sears down my throat, letting a fire deep in my chest. Meanwhile, Marion continues to stroke my bound fingers like a worried parent. Yes, let the transformation begin! Before my eyes, my fingers fuse together. I panic as I shrink and harden into dark cloven hooves. A thin layer of brown fur develops around my wrists. What is this? What's going on?
Marion is right. You've changed, Malcolm. Now, no more questions.
Grace places a finger to my lips, then wraps a wool blanket around my shoulders. The wool feels itchy against my face, and quickly realize that it's not the blanket on my cheeks, but slight twitches of my lips and jaw. Oop. I toss off the blanket and try to run my hand across my face, but the hoof awkwardly clips my lower jaw. My jaw juts out, cracking and lengthening. The tug is smooth as taffy being pulled. Uh-oh. Malcolm's becoming dear man. When it stops, it jolts my body, shaking me down through my neck and throat. Instinctively, I run my tongue along the inside of my cheek and can feel blunt and narrow crescent ridges of enamel. Even my teeth are readjusting. A fire in my chest grows. My body at once shakes and expands, and my insides feel full of adrenaline. My pulse races. I cry for help, but only a strangled bleat comes out.
Shh! Stay calm, Malcolm. Breathe deeply.
Marion tries to pacify me, putting her hand upon my muzzle, stroking my head. I feel like a drum is beating slowly inside, and more steadily and painfully. Oh. My ears become more erect and start increasing in size. The hair on my head falls out in clumps, replaced by more fur. Small bones pierce through my scalp as antlers form atop my skull. Oh. That's a good shot. I think I might use that. The soft and bristly nubs continue to grow and extend as our hand moves along the fur. The antlers forcefully tear out and shed their furry covering as I bleat in terror. The hard rack must stand 2 full feet above my body height. Eesh. I push Marion away and jump back, realizing too late the true significance of her attentions. She looks hurt.
I'm sorry. We should never have gotten so close, Malcolm. Don't apologize. Malcolm only has himself to blame.
Jessie has stepped up from behind me. She places a hand on my chest, causing the fire inside to erupt into a blaze. Immediately, my shirt begins to tighten around my ribcage, and the buttons pop, exposing a fuller, broader chest with a lush coat of fur. My balance becomes unsteady. All the skin below my stomach pulsates as my legs grow longer and more muscular, the calves and thighs widening enough to rip through my trousers. I fumble with my hooves to remove my belt, gagging as my torso builds out. Jessie watches my struggle, biting her lip.
Let me take care of that for you.
Damn, look at that chest. Malcolm be fucking swole! Helpless, I let Jessie work the clasp. My body continues to expand, ripping my shirt sleeves completely open, all the while more brown fur spreads along every inch of my body. At last the belt comes free, and my pants fall to the floor. I gasp, deeply able to breathe once more. But the relief is short-lived. I wobble on my feet, exposed, feeling humiliated, vulnerable, and defiant.
Don't worry, Malcolm. You're at the tail end of this.
She steps up, looking like she might offer a hand to help my balance. Oh! Instead, she gives me a hearty slap on the rump. Cottontail! From the point of impact, a sharp puncture blows through the back of my underclothes, and a white tail protrudes from the waistband. The surprise makes me jump and hobble across the room.
Malcolm, be careful! Don't get too close to the fire!
Oof. Sorry guys, my hand is falling asleep. It takes an effort for her words to register. I stumble away from the fireplace, tongue lolling, and a panic amplified by an unfamiliar animal urge to run for the hills. Am I losing my mind? A painful impact on my foot causes me to trip, sending me crashing to my knees. Your feet, Malcolm! Your feet! To my horror, even my feet are shifting. With 2 audible ruptures, hooves blow out through my leather shoes. My shoulders collapse inward, and I fall forward onto all fours. I try to stand, flailing and my hind legs buck near the kitchen table.
Serves you right. Now maybe you'll find other lasses to fawn over.
Jessie groans, but Grace's taunt still cuts me to the core. What have I become? I try and speak, but I've lost my voice. I feel helpless, trapped inside my own mind. Am I going mad? I buck again. Poor Malcolm. Ah, it's such a beautiful picture. Marion at least looks woeful yet supportive. I stand motionless in my new deer form until Marion comes face to face with me, cradling my new jaw and looking me in the eyes.
I'm sorry, Malcolm. You have to stay away. Stop asking why. Which for you'll no go past ye.
And I'm gonna pause it right there. Oh, alright guys, thank you so much for watching. That has been another episode of Changeling Tale, Marion's Path. We're getting closer to more content for Marion. That's a shadow, okay. Anyway guys, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and ring that notification bell to the next video. I love you all. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye!